Virginia men's basketball coach Blake Mellinger as his team is set to open the season this weekend in an Atlantic Region Conference Challenge up at Virginia State. Coach, you played 2 games in consecutive days starting on Friday against Elizabeth City State. What can you tell us about the Vikings?
They're a very athletic team, have really quick guards. We're really going to have to do a really good job of keeping them out of the paint. Got a versatile group of players that could be a tough matchup for us, so it's a challenge we're really looking forward to.
You have several new faces on your roster and lost your top 3 leading scorers from a year ago. How do you feel about preseason practice as it concludes?
Good so far. We've had some injuries that have kind of hurt us here, so we're just now getting some guys back. Some of our younger guys aren't as far along as we would like them to be because of that, but we're finally starting to get healthy, starting to get some of those guys who were injured back into practice, which I think is going to pay dividends in the next bit.
How does preparation for you and your staff differ for a weekend like this with playing back-to-back days?
Well, it's really tough because, one, these are 2 teams that we don't know a whole lot about. We've got one film on Elizabeth City, and being the opening weekend is just everything's kind of new to everybody. I think we'll have a decent amount of information to prep ourselves for Elizabeth City State, and then we'll try to do most of our stuff for Virginia State. We'll try to get most of that information just by watching their game Friday night after we play. But it's tough. It's a quick turnaround. You can't put a ton into scouting, especially for that second game, because you have so little time. But we'll be all right.
You mentioned Virginia State. What can you tell the folks about the Trojans?
They're really big. They got a lot of size. They're really deep. Last year, I think they averaged about 63 points a game, but they shot a pretty high percentage from the field. So to me, that tells me that they really like to pound the ball inside. So I think that's going to be a factor for us. We're not the biggest team in the world. They've got 3 or 4 guys on their team that are 6'8" or above. So that's something that we're really going to have to prepare for. But other than that, I think we've got some advantages too that we can take, that we can look at and hopefully exploit them on the other end of the floor.
Coach, what do you feel the keys are for your team to be successful this weekend?
One, we just have to play together. We have to having a large group of new guys. Our chemistry has to come together. We've got to defend. That's always going to be a big key for us. Our defense has to be better. Has to be kind of a staple for us. If teams are scoring up in the 90s and 100s, it's going to be tough on us. We need the game to be in the 70s. So
that's Coach Blake Mellinger as his team opens the season this weekend. You can find the results by visiting www.ubacast.com.